This is the southern end of the Arizona Trail at the U.S.-Mexico border. But you can't drive to this exact spot to start your northbound trek on the trail. So exactly how do you get here? In this video, I'm going to explain some of your options for getting 1 to Sierra Vista, the town nearest to the southern terminus, 2 to this point so that you can start hiking north. And then 3, I'll show you some of the things to expect along Passage 1, from the border to Parker Canyon Lake. First, to get to the southern terminus, the Arizona Trail Association's website has good resources to help you with your planning, including a list of shuttles and trail angels. They also have a Facebook page you can check out. I'm one of the volunteer trail stewards for Passage 1, and trail stewards are a good resource too. What you'll quickly learn when you start planning for your hike is that Sierra Vista is a small town, and there's no airline, rail, or bus service directly to it, or to Coronado National Memorial where the start of the trail is. So, let me explain what some of your options are to get to the southern terminus. If your plan is to drive your own car to Sierra Vista and park it while you thru hike, do an online search for auto storage and you'll find several businesses in town that provide long-term storage. You might be able to coordinate with a trail angel to park your car at their house, but that's a bit of a long shot. Also, keep in mind that at the end of your hike, you then have to travel 800 miles to get back to your car. A second option is to arrive in Phoenix and then make your way to the trailhead. To get from Phoenix to your start point, you can rent a car one way to Sierra Vista. If you book it far enough ahead, the price may be less expensive than you think, especially if you split the cost between a couple of hikers. Then you'll need to make an arrangement with a shuttle service or trail angel to pick you up in Sierra Vista and get you the final 20 miles south to Montezuma Pass in Coronado National Memorial to start your hike. Alternately, once you arrive in Phoenix, you can arrange for a shuttle to Tucson and then a second shuttle either from Tucson to Sierra Vista or directly to Montezuma Pass. Obviously, this option is a bit more complicated because the Phoenix shuttle will drop you off in one location and then you may have to get to a different location for the second shuttle. Tucson is closer to the southern terminus than Phoenix is, but it's a much smaller airport, which means fewer and sometimes more expensive flights. Whatever the case, once you arrive at the airport, there are hotels within a mile in case you need to stay overnight, and you have a variety of shuttle options. From Tucson, you can arrange to get either to Sierra Vista if you need to overnight in town, or get directly to Montezuma Pass to start hiking. The trail map of the Huachucas provides the best details of Passage 1, and that's the map I'm using now. Wherever you're coming from, your almost last leg of your trip towards the trailhead is going to be by car or shuttle, either along 15 miles of dirt road on the west side of the Huachuca Mountains straight to Montezuma Pass, or along the east side through Sierra Vista, where there's a Walmart and several grocery stores if you need them. And then from Sierra Vista, you'll need a final ride to the Visitor Center in Coronado National Memorial or to Montezuma Pass. Don't count on Uber or Lyft for transportation. Neither of these companies are very active in Sierra Vista. You finally start your hiking trek to the border on Joe's Canyon Trail from either Montezuma Pass or the Visitor Center. Both are within Coronado National Memorial. If you start at the pass, you'll hike 3/4 of a mile on Joe's Canyon Trail with no elevation gain to speak of to its junction with Yaqui Ridge Trail. Then it's a mile with 600 feet of descent down Yaqui Ridge Trail to the border. If you start at the Visitor Center, you'll hike 2.5 miles with 1,300 feet of elevation gain to that same Yaqui Ridge junction and then the same mile to the border. I know which one I would choose. And now you're starting the Arizona Trail. From the border, head back up Yaqui Ridge Trail and then to Montezuma Pass. While the official length of this passage is about 20.5 miles, it's actually more than 22 miles when you include the extra distance of hiking south to the border and then back to the pass. In my own mind, I divide Passage 1 into 3 distinct sections based on the land manager and the specific regulations that apply to each area. The first section is the 6 miles within Coronado National Memorial. The memorial commemorates the first organized expedition into the Southwest by Spanish conquistador Francisco Vázquez de Coronado in 1540. He was searching for gold, but found none. And what backpackers won't find in the memorial is a place to camp, because neither camping nor campfires are authorized. To get outside the memorial, where camping's allowed, head across the parking lot to the start of the Crest Trail. Now you have more elevation gain ahead of you, about 1,300 feet in the next 2 miles. The Huachuca Mountains and other ranges in this area are called sky islands. They rise steeply from the valleys that surround them, islands in the sky, creating cooler, wetter habitats with very different plants and animals than the valleys below. This cooler and wetter weather also means that it's cold, snowy, and often very windy up here in the winter and spring. There are several closed mines on this section of trail. They were active in the early 1900s and mainly produced tungsten. After the third mine, it's just a little bit farther to the second section of Passage 1. This small sign indicates that you're leaving the memorial and entering the wilderness area. Motorized equipment and mechanical transport is prohibited, which is why you won't see any bike riders here.
Never up, never down, never. Like a theme in a song, clever. Feeling high, feeling low at the same time.
The next couple of miles is alternately steep, narrow, and rocky, and sometimes all three at once, and realistically has no sites that are suitable for camping.
I never think, I always do. Never thought I wouldn't jump, oh what a fool.
Eventually, you'll start to see tall pines, some burned from the fires in the last 25 years. And you might see what looks like a blimp in the distance. It's a helium-filled surveillance system used by Customs and Border Protection. Aside from an occasional mishap, it's tethered to the ground by a Kevlar cord. The Lutz Canyon Trail Junction is the first of about 7 signed junctions that lead you down various canyons or up towards peaks, none of which you take until you get to Sunnyside Canyon. At this Lutz Canyon Junction, it's less than a mile to the spur trail that goes up to Miller Peak and 2 miles to water at Bathtub Spring. At 9,000 feet, this Miller Peak Junction is the highest point along the AZT, with the exception of the Kaibab Plateau to the far north. Hike up to Miller Peak if you want to, but plenty of hikers are already pooped and aren't interested in the extra work to get up there. After this, you'll start to see various flat spots where hikers have set up camp. Keep your eyes out for snags that could come down. 8 miles from the border, you'll reach the first water at Bathtub Spring. This cast iron tub arrived here in 1908 when a prospector named Max Baumkirchner had mules haul it up here outside his log cabin. The spring that feeds the tub is mostly dependable, but occasionally it goes dry in the summer. And of course it freezes in the winter. It's very important to keep in mind that this is the only water source for quite a distance around, not only for campers and thru hikers, but for all the animals in the area. In Arizona, it's against the law to camp within a quarter mile of a natural or man-made water hole if wildlife will be denied access to the only reasonably available water. And this is one of those water holes. Unfortunately, what you'll see is that people do camp, particularly right here, about 20 feet from the bathtub. Don't be the camper who sets up your tent just a few feet from the spring. A quarter mile past the tub, you reach a junction where it's easy to take a wrong turn onto the Car Peak Trail instead of staying on the Crest Trail. It's really easy to focus on that sign up there. Don't go towards Car Peak. You'll end up on the east side of the Huachucas rather than the west side where you should be. Look to the left for the Crest Trail and AZT sign and stay on the Crest Trail. There are more junctions that head off the Crest Trail into various canyons after this. Oversight Canyon, Ida Canyon, Hamburg Trail. Just stay on the Crest Trail until about the 12-mile mark from the border. Once you reach the Sunnyside Canyon Trail, this is where you finally head off the Crest Trail and down into the canyon. In the first quarter mile or so, there are a few sites flat enough to camp. After that, it's a steep 2+ miles to any site suitable for a tent. Once you see that the terrain is flattened out, you'll find plenty of campsites and, if we've had a wet winter, plenty of water in the creek that flows down the canyon. And a flat area for a few tents. At the bottom of Sunnyside Canyon, you'll leave the wilderness area and the Huachucas behind. You're right here at the end of the Sunnyside Canyon Trail. You're gonna pick up Scotia Canyon Trail and head right on over to Parker Canyon Lake. Now you're on the final 5 miles of Passage 1. It's flat and quite a relief after the steepness of the mountains. There are a few gates to pass through and plenty of places to camp. The trail doesn't actually take you to Parker Canyon Lake, which means you'll need to hike about a half mile out of your way if you want to stop at the small bait shop at the lake or camp at their campground. I imagine the bait shop has a few snacks for sale, but it's never been open when I've been here. There's a fee to camp at the campground. And then here you are, at the end of Passage 1, 23 or so miles from your start at the border on one of the AZT's toughest passages. If it looks like I did the whole passage in one hike while also sawing logs off the trail, well, I didn't. I hiked it over several days, and I think most hikers will take at least 2 days. I really hope this video helps you figure out what the best way is for you to get to the southern terminus of the Arizona Trail and gets you off to a good start on Passage 1. Have a great hike, and I'll see you on Passages 2 and 3 in the next video.